listening to Double Tap, your daily accessible technology show. Now, here's your hosts, Stephen Scott and Shaun Preece.
Oh, hello, Shaun Preece from a wintry UK to you, wherever you are in the world. Hello to you. Thank you for joining us on Double Tap. It's nice and cosy here in my little studio. What's it like in the shed, Shaun Preece?
Absolutely freezing, Stephen Scott.
Excellent.
Yes, the heating will be going on. Hasn't it changed? It does feel like Christmas.
It does. It's nice.
It's crisp. I took the dog out this morning and it was crisp, but it's actually quite nice, until it starts snowing and you can't feel anything at all with your cane.
Unless you're in Australia or New Zealand or basically anywhere south of the equator where essentially summer is now kicking in, where you're sitting there basking in temperatures.
So lucky. Hello, double tappers around the world.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Absolutely. Hey, listen, we didn't talk much about Sly Village yesterday. We didn't get much of a chance because we had the big breaking news, of course, about BlindShell Classic 3. We'll get reaction to that in a few minutes. But, we should talk a little bit about this adventure of ours. Because
yes,
I've got to say, excuse me for a second, can I just say...
Go ahead, sir.
I don't even think you were stopping me, but I'm going to do it anyway. I had a great time. I actually had a really great time. And I was really anxious about the trip. You know what I'm like going out and anywhere? I mean, I think I called you the morning of saying, do we need to do this?
I don't want to go.
I don't want to leave the house. And then, you said to me, and thank God you did, because you said to me, look, you know what? We're going to have fun. It's going to be a good time. And if you had said to me, do you know what? Okay, let's leave it. I'd have just stayed in the house and that'd been it.
Do you know what?
You didn't.
That's a coin toss, right?
Depending
on the mood you're in at the time. It's like, I don't fancy trying to work out that train station. And if I get a terrible taxi driver and blah, 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 blah.
Will the assistants turn up? Yeah, all that stuff.
But you know what? We did have a great time. It was fun. There were a few, funny snafus along the way. But hey, it all depends how your attitude to it, how you approach it. If you can laugh at yourself, it's fine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And we laughed. That's one thing. We laughed a lot. We'll talk about that in a minute because I want to mention the one particular snafu which I think has possibly go down in history. This goes into the books alongside the hedge moments. Falling and breaking your leg. I think that this is going to be one of those, that kind of level, an extinction level event for Shaun Preece.
But there was tech involvement as well, though, so it does fit in with the show.
Well
so
done.
It's fine.
That's very good, yes.
Thank you.
But first off, I want to say hello to... I've got to say, I am honestly amazed by this, but the amount of people who came up to us and said hello and said, hey, are you that guy that does that thing on that YouTube?
Yeah, no one can remember our name or the show. But
who's Shaun? Who's Stephen? That's my favourite one. Here's Stephen coming now. No, I'm Stephen. Well, who's he? Oh, is he Shaun? Oh, I see. No, listen, I want to say hi to everybody. Tommy from Guide Dogs, got to say hello to you. Was the first person to come up to me and say hello. Also, we had Kevin come up and say hello as well. We met some amazing people on the stands. But I've got to say, I think our highlight was definitely meeting Jennifer Carpenter. One of our long-time listeners who was so excited to meet us. And I've got to say, I was almost disappointed because she had heard we were going to be there. And she said, I'm going to go along. Her husband, Freddie, was dragged along, whether he wanted to or not.
Thank you, Fred.
Yeah. And he was dispatched to find us, and he couldn't find us. Here's the story. Here's the story, though. He was looking for the booth, and we didn't have a booth. We were just wandering around doing interviews. And... they had spent quite a bit of the day there. They hadn't found us, and they were about to leave. And Freddie says, okay, look, tell you what, I'm going to have one more sweep of the place to see if I can find them. So he asked Jennifer to wait at the entrance, and he said, I'll go have a look, see if I can find them, and then I'll let if we can't find them, we can't find them. He then found us, and he said, I'm so glad I found you because my wife is desperate to meet you. And so it was brought over to us. We met Jennifer, and we had a lovely, lovely conversation. And it was a joy to meet you. And honestly, it kind of brings it home to us that this is real. Do you know what I mean? It's like this is a real thing.
Absolutely.
People listen. It's just, and it means so much to so many people. And we really appreciate that. We know how much it means to you.
Yeah, it was amazing to meet both of you and everyone else we met as well. But
yeah, that's right.
You're absolutely right, because we're both sat here, as you say, I'm in my shed, you're in your bedroom studio, and you do sort of feel distanced, you know. And it's not until you actually meet people and talk to people, you think people are listening here. And it blows me away every time. So many people, thank you so much. And we even had our picture taken with Jennifer. It was wow. It's like being on a red carpet. It was beautiful. Thank you.
Got to mention Bernie as well. Bernie, who got in touch with us. She is just a lovely woman. We met her. I think she's dragged me into doing a talk with an organisation, which is normal for me.
To be fair, you offered.
I did.
She did ask out. Yeah, it was another one. See, Stephen, it's your voice. We were going into a lift. Bernie was coming out of a lift, and you said something after you, I believe it was, being very courteous, of course.
Of course.
And she said, I know that voice. I said, of course you do.
It's funny. What I find the best reaction I think I've ever had is when people say, oh, hi, Stephen. I love that. They just say hi. Yeah. It's like, I don't know who you are, but you know me. And I kind of love that. I kind of love that people feel that connection with the show to the extent that, you know, you could literally just walk by and go, oh, hello, it's you.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. I absolutely adore that. But no, thank you to everybody who came up to us and, you know, for all the gracious people we spoke to who said such nice things. Even, I've got to say, some fellow podcasters.
No. Who was that? Was that when we were having a rumble in the car park outside?
That's right, yeah. It was like the scene from Anchorman when all the channels get together and fight with each other.
No, everyone was fantastic.
No, we met the wonderful Dave Williams, of course, from the Braillists Foundation, but also from RNIB, of course, the Tech Talk podcast, which was my my first child. And Dave's doing an amazing job over there with the show, and it was really nice to catch up with him because we haven't spoken a lot since I left RNIB. He's so busy. And he's doing a great job with Callum and Jackie and Hubert and all the wonderful team over there who are just putting together that show and doing a great thing. You know, it's great to see the show continue, and I feel we need more of these shows. You know, I heard this week about Jonathan Mosen's coming back with a new podcast for the NFB.
Access On, I believe it is.
Access On, it's called. That's great news. I'm so glad to hear he's coming back and doing more of what he does. Because I think we need lots of voices and we need lots of people who don't always agree with each other as well. I think that's really important because we need to hear that, you know, blind people especially have different opinions. I think that's why, you know, people generally feel, I know it's not all about this, but I think there's a sense sometimes that, you know, blind people are just one big homogenous group. And I think that's because so few of us are out there doing things that really, if you tack onto a voice, you hear a voice talking about something, you think, well, that must be what they think about that issue, they being every blind person.
Yes, every single blind person out there.
You need to hear some contrary voices. We need some debate. We need discussion. It's good. And if anything came out of last week, you know, the one takeaway I have from last week is we need to be less tribal in our approach to things. It's the only way we'll ever get through. We've got to be less tribal, and we have to be willing to hear other people's voices. And certainly on this show, that's what we encourage. So, yeah.
Well, I think being tribal is almost human nature anyway. You know,
it is.
The whole thing about cliques and things like that. I think it's just, you know, you tend to gravitate to people with similar opinions to yourself. But I think, you know, the conversation is the important thing, and we can still respect each other and disagree. So
absolutely,
I think it's absolutely no problem there.
Let's get some serious debate and let's get some serious discussion because there's big issues affecting us as blind people.
Absolutely.
You know, I think the big fear I have, I mean, I don't want to get into the politics of it too much because I'm not really interested in that. But there is a real concern. If I have any concern about the results of the US election last week, it's that, you know, we are already in a position as blind people that blindness is so far down the list of topics that are discussed in any mainstream sense, on the media or anywhere else. And I'm not one of the mainstream media bashers. That's not what this is about. It's just that our lives are not discussed in the way that we need them to be discussed. For example, around accessibility and access and all these things. And that has to change. But I do fear the results of the US election, that this will now be absolutely impossible to have a conversation in the mainstream without, you know, so many other topics jumping up on top. And that's been the case for decades. I don't think that fight is going to get any easier. So that's my only fear about this. And that's why I feel we need more voices, more shows like this and, you know, what people are doing. And I think I'm not saying we started this because we didn't, but, you know, when we started Tech Talk, there was really nothing else like that out there. And, you know, now with Double Tap, there's this growing international audience of people coming together with different opinions. I mean, my inbox is full of emails every single day.
And I'm trying to keep up on WhatsApp, all you WhatsAppers. I did reply to a lot last night, so thank you, and keep them coming.
And I should say, and I apologize for saying that, it's not my inbox, it's our inbox, right? It's the feedback inbox that comes into the show. But the thing is that the inbox is full of emails from wonderful people with dissenting opinions towards me, and I love it.
Yes,
because
absolutely.
we're going to have some serious debate on the subject of Braille. I mentioned it, I touched on it a little bit yesterday, but we're going to dig into that a bit more over the next couple of days and weeks. Yeah, a lot of people not happy with my views, and that's absolutely fine.
You're in trouble.
Yeah, but that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But no, listen, we had a great time at Site Village. Thank you to everybody who we met, and we're definitely going to try and do that again next year.
Busy. It was so big. That was the busiest Site Village I've been to in London.
Hugely.
That was.
I did a Trump there, didn't I? Bigly.
Bigly. It was Bigly.
It was
the
most
biggliest event I've been to.
The numbers were good.
It was great. Thanks to everyone we met. I should say as well, thanks to the sighted assistants. So I was talking to the lady in charge, and I believe
did you get sighted? I didn't get anybody.
Well, I was lost while you were, being all celebrity and being interviewed by people, Stephen Scott. You were being interviewed by someone.
Don't know what
I was lost
about.
and banging around chairs and that, and someone came and saved me. So I should say thank you to all the students. I think it's the Uxbridge College or University down there who did the site assistants. They were amazing. Thank you.
You did the blind, yes, I see what you're saying. The blind seance thing again, where you walked up to someone, I just heard you saying, hello? Hello?
Hello? Is anybody there?
And then you had a hello, and then you had a bit of a conversation with that person, and it got you to the next table. I think, we'd be fine in an apocalyptic event, wouldn't we? We'd be all right. We'd just say hello.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. If you say so. Wow. Let's move on. And of course, we got hands on with the glide, but we'll talk more about that.
Oh, lots to talk about.
In the
week.
So
just again, if you missed us yesterday, or you couldn't bear it yesterday, we talked about Glide. So Glide are going to be the team from Glide are going to be on the show on Thursday because we recorded an interview at Site Village with them. That interview airs on Thursday's Double Tap. On Friday's show, we've got the Q&A, the question and answers with Amos and the team. They're going to be talking to us. We're actually recording that Wednesday night, and then we will be airing that on Friday's show. So do check that out on Friday's Double Tap. Should we mention the hotel moment?
Well, it depends which part of it we mention. We could mention the general aspect of
I think we should detail. I think we should detail for people. Maybe, well, okay, all right. It's a family show, so maybe not all the details.
Yes.
I realize what you're saying.
Yes,
thank
you.
One particular. Okay, let's go with the slightly more hilarious angle here, which was, so we get to the hotel and it's all fine, and we get our keys to the room, the two rooms, I should say, and I get you. We used Seeing AI, amazing.
Absolutely amazing. Walking down the corridor, a really long corridor, by the way, but reading out all the door numbers as we're going past. It's so funny, though, using your stick to shoreline across the corridor and you're knocking on every single door you're passing.
Yeah.
But yes, so, okay, here's mine, 120, I believe. I'm sure that was mine, 120. So get my key card out, swipe it across the little thing, scanner above the handle, nothing. Oh, that's strange. Okay, try again. Nothing. But this happens sometimes. Sometimes those key cards don't work. Right?
Oh, yeah, every time, nearly.
But luckily enough, the receptionist came walking up behind us. And he said, oh, don't worry about it. I'll get you a new key. I'll let you in with the master key. Perfect. So he lets me in. He says, I'll be back in a bit with your new key. Thank you very much. So I go in, I throw my bag on the bed, have a little tap around, go to the toilet. We'll leave it there. And then a couple of minutes later, the guy comes back as I'm in the bathroom, knocks on the door. So here's your key. I'll leave it here. Thank you very much. He goes. I come out. And of course, I have no idea where that key is. So here's the tech. So I do a WhatsApp video call with my daughter saying, can you see the key anywhere? Of course, it's pitch black because without the key, there's no electric in a hotel room. So I turn my torch on my phone and peering and sneaking around this hotel room looking for the key. Find the key, put it in the electric, all the lights come on, that's great. Go back to the bed, and I feel something on the bed. And I think, what's this? I pick it up, and feels like a pair of jeans. And I put my hand in the pocket because it was quite heavy, and there's a pair of car keys in there, a set of car keys, and some other things. That's strange. So I'm still on the video call, and I say, what's this? He said, it's a pair of jeans. So I look around the rest of the room, and there's bags and there's socks on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And at that moment, this isn't my room, or at least someone else is in this room. So I say, there's no one in the bed, is there? No, there isn't. Go into the bath. There's no one in the bath or shower, is there? No, there isn't. I was in the wrong room. I should have been in 122. I was in 120. That's why the key didn't work. I had misheard what the guy had said at reception. But this could be a case of where disability makes people awkward, because as soon as he see me not being able to get into the room, he just opened it up and let me in. He wasn't even my room.
He just let you in, and not even. He didn't even look at the room number clearly. He just, and maybe he just looked past that almost, and just said, "I'll let them in."
So yes, it was terrifying.
I mean,
But
very
funny.
funny. Oh no, it was funny. And then we found out that you were in the wrong room, and we got you the right key. But after that, we had let's just say you left the room in a little bit of disarray.
Yes, that's just
and that's painting a very family-friendly picture.
Maintenance
of that
may
image.
have been needed to be called to sort out that room after I'd been.
Maintenance were required afterwards. I feel for the guy or girl who has to go back to that room, or couple, or whoever it was that was in that room. They're going to come back later on that night and wonder, because even just like coming into the room, even though you maybe don't take 100% notice of everything all the time, you probably think, hang on, my clothes have moved. You probably would figure that out.
My pockets have been gone through.
That's right.
It's like the worst Goldilocks in the world.
I was kind of like, I wanted to kind of do that thing where you take the keys. I could just imagine a whole movie based on this. We get the keys, we go for an adventure. You and I go driving around London. That was in my head. I just want to drive a car. I don't care about the rest. But yes, but we survived it.
We did survive it, and it was all fine. As I mentioned yesterday, I used good maps, which was absolutely blew my mind. I can't say enough great things about it. I used my Meta glasses. Everything was good. You know what? Once you get over that initial, I don't want to go, things are going to go wrong, everything was fine.
And listen, we both did well with the setting off alarms business. We both managed to achieve that. I did it in an elevator. You did it on the train.
Again, yes, in the train toilet. Yeah, trying to find the flush button, which should be, as any right-minded person would know, next to the toilet. So I press that button, and next thing I'm talking to the driver, and the entire alarm system in the carriage is going off saying, passenger in toilet needs assistance. That was fun.
Do you know what gets me about trains? And I don't know what it's like internationally. I've never really gone into this too much. I mean, the train I was on in Canada, the only train I've been on in Canada, apart from, let's just say the only train. I have been on passenger trains, but never used the bathroom. But the train I was on was the Rocky Mountaineer, so it did have a slightly different approach to the bathroom that perhaps other trains may have. I mean, this one had beautiful soap and moisturizer and
nice
towels, actual towels. Wow. Proper. It was just a beautiful setup, to be perfectly honest, the whole thing. I mean, there was the only train I'd ever been on that had an elevator in it. I've never been on a train like that in my life.
What? How does
Traveling
that work?
along. Yeah, well, because they have, obviously it has to be accessible, right? So they have an elevator on the train. It's a double-decker train, which again blows my mind.
I've never heard of that in my life, a double-decker. So
Double-decker train,
an upstairs.
Yeah. There's an upstairs. So downstairs was where you had your breakfast and your dinner, and then you would go upstairs into the viewing carriage. But but to be fair,
amazing.
That's not unusual.
Ableist.
What?
How about the non-viewing carriage?
I just sit downstairs. Sit downstairs and pretend to look out the window. I mean, I sat upstairs and pretend to look up. So, kind of worked out. But, I mean, that's an amazing train journey, by the way. But maybe there's a show in that in itself. That was an incredible trip. But, these trains do exist, though, because interestingly, in France, they're very popular. In certain parts of Europe, but also in Canada and the US, you get double-decker trains. But we don't have that in the UK because our infrastructure is Victorian. So we're barely functioning as it is. Yeah,
I did that thing where I was sat. I had my seat reserved, and I sat in the outside seat on the aisle, easy to get up, go to the bathroom if I needed to.
Yep.
But it was so busy that I actually moved into the window seat to allow people to sit down to see there was a seat there.
Yeah.
And of course, someone sits next to me, and for about an hour and a half, I'm thinking I need to get out. It feels like you're sat on top of each other.
Yeah.
And then I know, okay, if I go to the bathroom, I'm never finding this seat again because there's no way. I can't put anything on the little either the armrest or anything, like a little scrunchie or those little tricks we use to identify this is my seat. Couldn't do it because someone was sat there. So I ended up standing in the corridor. But these are the joys of travel.
My trick with that is to get to know some of the people around me. So just start a vague conversation. Usually it might just be, in my case, some ridiculous comment to elicit a smile or a laugh or nothing, as is often the case. Yes. My essential tremor line works every time. And,
not essential to me.
Hey! Etc. And
I should say, everyone on the train were absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Most people are, right? So you get to know people. You just say, hey, how you doing? And then when you get up to go to the bathroom, just say, hey, listen, when I come back, if I drift on past, can you let me know? And yeah, no problem. And it's never a problem. And also, it's like, can you, not rob me of all my stuff? That would be.
Oh, I always take my bag with me. I'm not mucking around.
Well, I say one or two things. I'll say, can you keep an eye on this for me? Or, and equally, can you not rob me? And again, elicits a laugh. Yeah, no, elicits a laugh. Well, again, it's a cultural thing, I think. British humour is very different to other parts of the world, I think. But no, it was an interesting trip for sure. Had a great time, and I'm glad we did it. So yes, on my travels again on Thursday, I'm going to a conference focusing on Braille in Edinburgh in Scotland.
You can't go to that.
Why? Because I'm anti-Braille.
Because you're anti-Braille, you'll be stoned.
I'm Uncle
outside.
Braille, I'll have you know. I'm Uncle Braille, not anti-Braille.
And why are you going to an event without me? That's not allowed.
Well, it's in Edinburgh. You're not going to come all the way to Edinburgh, are you?
No, forget it.
Yeah, exactly. Got you at the shed once this year. It's not going to happen again. Listen, I think we should probably move on to this.
What Stephen bought this week?
Yeah, I know. It's happening. Now, I know what you're thinking. Guys. You're going to go, hang on. The Mac Mini was released on Friday. The new iMac was released on Friday. The new MacBook Pros with M4 were announced on Friday.
You bought them all.
So, what did Stephen buy? Well, Stephen may have bought something else entirely. A new keyboard! Keyboard!
No!
Hey!
Why this time?
Because I wanted it.
Okay. No, I'm not going to judge you. Of course not. But you're ridiculous, sir. How many keyboards do you need?
It's not that I need more keyboards. It's I want more keyboards. And this is other people's fault.
Oh, of course. Yes.
It's not my fault.
Other people. Right. Okay. Tell us what it is.
So this just arrived last night. So all I've done so far is taken the plastic off around it. I've opened it up to have a little bit of a, play with the keys.
Get your fix.
Exactly. Yes. That's all it is. Just send it back. But this is from Keychron. Now, Keychron is an interesting one because if you go to the Keychron website, goodness me, there's about 8 million keyboards on there. It is a very confusing website, and you can customize it completely to your wanting. You can have any kind of switch you want, any kind of style you want, lubrication. Goodness me, the amount of choices are endless. These are pre-lubed keyboards, by the way.
All right, can we not use that word anymore?
But that's what they are, the pre-lubed keyboards.
Stop it. Okay, very good.
But apparently that wasn't a thing before. I was watching a video of a girl. She was telling us all about this and how apparently that was not the norm, and now it is. So there you go. News to me. I know nothing about all this stuff, but and that's the thing. I like keyboards, but I'm not like going to build my own keyboard, right?
That's the point I want to make. You can get really nerdy when it comes to keyboards, and there are companies like Keychron out there where you can, when we're talking about different switches, that's the mechanism, that actually hold the keys. So a different feel, how much travel there is in the press. The lubrication is how smooth it feels when you're pressing the key. You can go down to so much detail in these. It's absolutely amazing.
So this one is the Keychron V5 Max. I think I'm saying that right. The knob edition. And
okay, that's genius.
I can hear some people saying, never is a keyboard more suited to this guy than this one.
Personalised to you, Stephen. That's good.
Just for me. So this is the knob edition, which means it's got a knob on it, a customizable knob. Look, everyone's going to use it for volume, right? What else are you going to use it for? But I suppose there's other options.
Where's it located? Top left corner?
Top right corner.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So so I'm going to take it out of the box and let you have a listen to the keys. So it's for those of you who are watching us on YouTube, you'll see the keyboard here. So this is the keyboard. Now it's called a 96% keyboard. I'm holding it up to the camera. It's a 96% keyboard. Now what that basically means is it's got, because the key for me was to have a numpad. I wanted to have a numpad.
Yes.
Generally, when you buy these keyboards, you'll find that they don't have a numpad. They'll have I call them little pack of 6. You know, the home, the end, the page up, the page down. It'll have those keys, but it won't have a numpad. This one doesn't have the little pack of 6 keys. It does have obviously big cursor keys, but it does have a numpad. So laptop style keyboard with a numpad to the right, and then in the middle, just below that, you'll get these cursor keys. Do you want to have a little bit of a key test? Will we do a little key test?
Go on then. Now that sounds interesting.
So it's not like your kind of clacky keyboard.
It's not. No.
These are Gateron red switches. Which
the Gateron Reds. Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, exactly. Which is exactly what I said as well. Wow, that's amazing. What does that mean? Well, look, I did look into this a little bit.
Nerd.
Because look, there's different types, and the website, by the way, again, if you want information, the Keychron website is full of it, and it gives you detail of like key travel, how far the keyboard goes down. These guys are proper nerds. I kind of like that though. I kind of love the level of detail they go into, but it also tells you like how clicky the keyboard is. Is it more of a tactile feel? Is it quiet? Because different keyboards I've had over the years, they have different key travel. What I'd say is this is a strangely spongy, springy mechanical keyboard.
That's a no-no in my book. A spongy keyboard is no good.
Spongy in the sense that when you press the key down, it doesn't like bounce back up. It kind of softly comes back up. But you do get that hard press, and you get the little click that goes with it, but it's not too loud. So working in the home, you're not wanting a keyboard that's going to distract everyone. I know some of these mechanical keyboards are so loud.
You love that. It's like a Perkins. You love making noise. So
I do like making noise, but but the one I had before from Matthias was so loud that it was unbearable. So it was even unbearable for me, and I was sitting next to it. Now I can't imagine what someone else would be feeling.
What's the color of this keyboard?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's black. I mean, it's a black keyboard, I think, with keys that are various colors.
It's a laptop
if you're able to see it and you're watching the YouTube video, you can comment below.
Let us know
what color is this? Screw AI. This is a better way to do it.
Do you not miss those? I call them the control panel keys: home, end, page up, page down, insert, and delete. Do you not miss that above the cursor keys? Again, the whole point. I got another MX. Logitech keys, MX keys. Sorry, I can't even remember the name of it. Logitech MX keys.
It was the
S
MS
keyboard.
Yeah, it was the S you got.
Yeah, so I got another one of those purely because of switching between computers. I don't want to remember. Oh, I'm using this computer now. I got to remember to press the function key and the right arrow to go to the end or home or whatever it is. Do you not get confused with all these keyboards?
Well, you mean like? Are you talking about losing the home and end stuff, or are you talking more about the different layouts?
I'm just both, really. I mean, losing that for a start, I really like having a home end, page up, page down, independent.
So you do have a home and you have a delete, a home, and an end button on here. This one's built for Mac. Now it will work with Windows, of course. Yes. And what they give you in the box, which is interesting, is they actually give you a little pack of switches, or not switches, keycaps. And these keycaps are for the Windows variant. So if you wanted to make this a Windows keyboard, you can just switch the keys around, which is kind of interesting.
I think that's important to point out as well. That these keyboards, when you buy them, it says, this is for Windows, this is for Mac. The only difference is the keys.
The keys, yeah. The keycaps on the top. I mean, but with this, you can actually change it. If you said, actually, I don't want it to be a Mac one, I want it to be
I don't want the command button. I want it to be a control button or an option button to be an alt button. Yes.
And actually, on the back of the keyboard, interestingly, there is a switch. I haven't gone through this in depth yet, but from what I read, there's a switch on the back which allows you to change the profile from Windows to Mac. And you can have different profiles on each one. So you could say, I want the keyboard layout to be this way on the Windows profile and this way on the Mac one. Now, this is through the software. I'm going to take a wild guess at the moment and say it's probably not going to be the most accessible, but we shall see I'm going to assume that because, let's be honest.
Yeah,
but
Logitech isn't great either.
Let's see how it goes. Because, I'm thinking about this customizable knob, and I'm thinking, but how customizable is it if I can't access the software? So, yeah, we'll see once I get it plugged in. But really nice. What else has it got? It's got two, and I thought this is actually quite a nice little thing as well. In the back of it here, so just in the back of it, you've got two little USB dongles, which are kind of built into the back that you can just pull out and use. They've got like a magnetic fit as well, so they don't fall out.
That's nice.
One is USB-A, which makes total sense, obviously, because you would plug it in. But of course, these days, so many machines are USB-C. Well, they've got you covered as well. There's a USB-C receiver as well, and it's right in there.
Okay. The more you talk, the more I'm thinking, how much is this?
Yeah, what do you think?
Wow. Well, going off what you've said about the customization of it, and
let me be clear though. So
options.
Customization. I didn't go. What I did was I looked at the website. I got information about the type of keyboard I was looking for.
Yeah,
and then I went to Amazon because what I was finding with the Keychron website was there was so many customization options. I was getting a bit confused. So I thought, well, at least I know if I go to Amazon, I can specify what I'm looking for, and I know what I'm kind of picking out. So I did. I went to Amazon. I got exactly the keyboard I was looking for with the red switches because those were the quieter ones. And as I say, I mean, this is the keyboard just typing away here. And this is me typing.
Yes, it's okay.
That's not loud. That's really pleasant. The thing is, right, with some of these really loud mechanical keyboards, I can't hear the screen reader. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's so
don't buy
clacky.
mechanical keyboards then. It's you
No,
that's
buy the
them.
right mechanical keyboard is what I'm saying.
Oh, stop. Right, okay.
I'm using it wrong.
Let's just quickly circle back. Was the reason as well, was the site accessible, Keychron?
Yeah, I mean, mostly, yeah. It was fine. I mean, for the information,
Mostly
I was
just
looking
too
for,
many
yeah.
options that it made
I
it
mean, it's tables as well. There's a lot of tables of information, but that was fine. I was okay with
who
that.
can be bothered? Yeah, okay. I'm going to say 159.
Okay, we'll talk
UK
pounds because we're talking
UK pounds. Yes, £159.
£59 off, and you'd be right. 100 quid.
100 quid. Okay, so about 145, 150 Canadian.
Yeah, something like that.
That's not bad. That's not bad for you for keyboards. Okay.
I know it's expensive. It is expensive, but that keyboard, what I like about it, again with the switches, I mean, I don't know if I'll ever go down this road. I know what I'm like. I probably won't. But the option is there that if a key stops working or something doesn't work properly,
you can pull it out.
I can pull the key out. I can replace the switch. I can change the keycaps when they get really dirty. I like that. It's really nice. You can almost change up your keyboard whenever you want. You can even buy different keycap sets if you want different colors. There's RGB lighting in it, which I'll be turning off as soon as I get it plugged in. I also bought this weird cable. It kind of Amazon recommended it, so I bought it. It's a really weird cable, if I'm honest. I don't
usually bought together.
Well, yeah, exactly. And this was a strange one. So it's a coily. I love my coily cables, as you know. And this is actually for mechanical keyboards, right? So it's got a USB-C, which goes into the back of the keyboard itself. And then there's a coily bit. And then it's connected to this weird metal, I would say it's almost like a BNC connector, but it's not. It's got a 4-pin connector, which screws on. And then that extends onto a longer cable, which has got USB-A at the end of it.
What are you talking about?
I don't really know what the connection point is for. I don't know why you need the 4-pin unless it's just about securing the connection. I don't know. It's really weird. But you've got, so USB, so it's two cables, really. You've got USB-C going to this metal 4-pin connector, and then the 4-pin adapter connect as a second cable connecting to a USB-A. And I don't really know what that middle bit is for, but it says it's built for, I think I've been conned, to be perfectly honest, but, I'll just go with it.
Keyboards? All right, we've done that. Give us the model number again.
So that's the Keychron V5 Max. Now, there's loads of them, and there's different sizes. There's 100% ones that do have that little 6 key in the middle as well as the full. You can get different sizes, different stuff. I went for that because I just thought this is kind of exactly what I need and what I want. I'm using it with the Mac.
Exactly what you need.
I don't know. I just decided.
What do you need it for? Which brings me back to how many keyboards have you got now?
Is that really relevant?
Well, yeah. Actually, yes.
Well,
I believe
I'll tell you exactly why. No, hang on.
Know.
I'll tell you why. Because I had an MX mechanical keyboard that I really liked, and I cannot find it anywhere.
Oh, you never say it to me before you go down that road, sir.
I mean, I say that as I'm sitting here. Hang on. I say that I don't have the full size one, right? I do have the little one here.
There you go.
Got the tiny little one.
Tiny. This is the guy who found like 2 iMacs in his loft the other day or whatever it was. Yeah, okay. Well done, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So that's my new keyboard, and yeah.
I bought a lanyard. There you go. That's what
Did
Shaun
you buy
bought
one
this week? I bought a lanyard. I'm not convinced it's the right one. So I am looking for recommendations for lanyards, please. I have an iPhone, what am I using at the minute? 15 Pro Max, if that matters. Ideally, I'd like a universal one that we could take any phone at all. But the one I bought, which it doesn't tell you in any of the descriptions, the lanyard attaches to the bottom of the case. So when I put the phone around my neck, it's upside down.
Okay.
Now, that doesn't work great for the apps that I want to use it for, if you want to use the camera, because it's upside down. Now, it makes total sense if you're using the phone. You hang the phone, because a lot of these lanyards on Amazon talk about, keeping it safe so people can't snatch it out of your hand. That's the main reason it seems to be. So if it's hanging around your neck, it's attached at the bottom of the phone, so you simply pick it up and it's facing the right way for you to actually use it. Of course, we don't want to use it like that. I want the lanyard attached at the top so the camera is looking outwards and the phone is the right way up. So if anyone's got any recommendations for lanyards for the iPhone, as I said, but really I want a universal one, let me know.
I know the Slinger was very popular because it kind of did this.
Yes. And you know what puts me off the Slinger is the attaching it through that adhesive to the back of your case. Honestly, that puts me off.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose it depends how you look at it. You could have 2 cases and just have one attached to the Slinger and one not. But it is quite it's quite a bulky unit though on the back. I mean, it's not small. So when you attach it to the back of the phone, look. I mean, I have to tell you that adhesive is brilliant. It is not coming off. So
really?
you don't have to worry about that. I guess it depends on what kind of case you're connecting it to, right? I think silicon might not be so good, but
yeah, you don't want a
plastic would be okay. At all. Yeah. So you maybe got to be careful on that front.
Yeah, I don't trust it. Sorry, I've made my ill-informed decision.
So we need to get some work done on the website because we're falling a bit behind on that one. So we're going to fix the website. But one thing that we're going to do as part of that, I think we should bring back the gift guide. Because last year we got some brilliant suggestions, and actually some of the suggestions in that gift guide might answer your question as well. So we should absolutely the resurrection of the gift guide.
I don't think we should have a gift guide. I think we should just have a recommended products.
Oh, you're so boring, aren't you?
No, sorry.
So boring.
Sorry. You just want it to be a gift guide so you can use a Santa Claus GIF on it or something, do you?
Yes. I want to make jingles and stuff. I want we've got YouTube. I can have Santa, crawling across the screen, dragging his sleigh. Okay. I could do all kind of cool stuff.
It makes total sense.
Yeah.
No, we should have just a product, recommended products, and you say, I'm looking for a lanyard, I'm looking for a keyboard, and it comes out with a list of listener recommendations. That would be beautiful. Okay. If someone can make that happen, obviously not me, that would be great.
Yeah, okay, I'll get right on it.
Thank you.
Okay. Shall we move on?
Yes, I think we should.
Email. We get email. We get your email every day.
Ding dong.
Here's your mail today.
And of course, we have to kick off. Yeah, that was a strange one.
Sorry about that.
We should kick off with a comment from Darren, who I knew would get in touch with us as soon as he heard about the BlindShell Classic 3.
Hello, this is Darren from Bexley in Kent.
Oh, yes.
Heard the article on the BlindShell Classic 3 being released today. I've looked on the website. I didn't read the manual, but I looked at the tech specs. I've got very mixed views on this. It's great that we got a virtual assistant, Luna, which is needed, and it is able to kind of access third-party apps. How well or not the case may be, we don't know yet. And the only thing I'm slightly disappointed with is they haven't improved the camera, which I think they could have done. And also, I don't think it's got 5G by the look of it, which is a bit disappointing, being that more and more is going 5G anyway. It's becoming more and more common. So I think with a new phone, they could have put 5G in, unless I'm wrong. And I also think they could have done away with the micro SIM and done a nano SIM draw, because I actually think it's easier, although it might sound a bit weird, I think it's easier to put a nano SIM in than a micro SIM in, because with the nano SIM, you can only do it one way, the drawer won't close, whereas if a micro SIM, it's possible to get it in the wrong way round, and it is quite hard to slot it in between the two prongs, as it were. It's not easy. Whereas with a micro SIM, it's just popping the drawer out with a pin and just dropping the SIM in and closing it back up again, and you haven't got to mess about with adapters either. And I think I'm slightly concerned that they didn't put wireless charging. I would have thought they would have done that as well. And perhaps stereo speakers. I think they missed an opportunity there to really do not a complete overhaul, but a better design. And they didn't, no mention of front cameras either. I don't know. I've got very mixed views. I don't know what to think at the moment. I'm still digesting, and I think I'm going to wait for a little while and see what happens. I could be totally wrong, but that's what I'm picking up from reading the tech specs. But I may get one. I don't know yet. At least I know that BlindShell is still operating. This is Darren saying bye for now. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, I've got to say, that's an interesting comment from Darren. I was expecting him to be jumping through hoops at the fact that it was, excitedly jumping through hoops at the prospect of a new phone, because I know he's a huge BlindShell fan,
fan,
as many other people are. But I think there's, it does feel, it was interesting hearing the guys talk about this yesterday, that, there was an opportunity to change some things, although the feedback they were getting, and again, it's all about feedback, right? If they're being told, look, you know what, you've got it right here, don't change anything, then that's what they're going with. Now, there's always an opportunity to make a change, and I think front-facing cameras would have been a good one, especially with the WhatsApp video calls, but maybe the rear camera is more important for blind people. I don't know. I mean, look, I suppose the choice would be nice. As they said yesterday, the one thing that comes out for me is, and certainly the comment that sticks for me, is that they're trying to keep this device as simple as possible while maintaining and giving people the opportunity for more functionality. That is a challenge. There's no doubt that's a challenge. It's a difficult task to try and keep it simple, but, make it appealing to as many people as possible.
I agree with you. I think you're absolutely right. And I think that's what makes BlindShell so popular, because it just works really well.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think Darren is absolutely right. And I think the guys must expect some sort of questioning about, hang on, why didn't we update any of the hardware with this? Is this just a software update? In which case, why not? Why can't I get this on my BlindShell Classic too? I mean, these are questions that mainstream developers and manufacturers get asked all the time as well. We ask all the time. So I don't think I'm not surprised at all that these questions are being asked, particularly about 5G. I mean, you asked in the interview yourself, Stephen, about the camera, if the camera is going to be updated. Now, personally, 13 megapixel in the cases of OCR and things like that, I think it's more than good enough anyway, so that doesn't really interest me.
Well, I found out the other day, because I was doing some digging on this with an old iPhone I had. I say old, 13 Pro Max had a 12 megapixel back camera. And the new one, the 16 Pro, has a 48 megapixel. It's quite a jump. But, the point is that the camera on the 13 Pro Max was pretty good, right? So
it makes no difference to OCR. That's my point.
Exactly.
Hey, you
We're
may
past
notice
that point.
Yeah, exactly. We are. But I mean, it makes a difference to photos and video, 4K video maybe. But for us, in the use case of OCR, it's more than enough. Object recognition, more than enough. So I haven't got a problem with that. But yeah, I agree. With the case of, okay, what about 5G, the data connectivity? I think that's reasonable to say, I think that should have been updated. But we will wait and see. I haven't used the BlindShell Classic, so really I can't really comment on the hardware itself. Maybe they are absolutely right. The hardware is good enough, and it's what people want, and they don't want it changed. So we will wait and see. People will decide.
Well, we are going to get hands-on with it very soon because it's arriving here at Double Tap Towers on Friday. So I will have it in my grubby little hands and I will put it through its paces for you. In fact, I may even put a SIM in it and actually just take it for a run for a little while and use it because, yeah, I'm intrigued by this device. I am. I've always wanted to get hands-on. I wanted to get hands-on with the BlindShell Classic 2. That never happened. I didn't want to buy it. I wanted them to send it out to review it, and they didn't do that. So now that has been resolved. Although, in fairness, that was connection through BlindShell USA, which is no more. So, I'm not going to put that at the hands of the guys we spoke to because I didn't speak to them prior to this. So the guys I spoke to were just recently I spoke to the guys from Prague. So,
yes.
But the question about 4G, 5G, yes, it is 4G only, Darren. You're right. It is only 4G, not 5G. My question is, though, does it really matter? I mean, I don't know about you, but I find 5G speeds to be pretty terrible in most places. 4G is better. So, I don't know. At the moment, I'd say 4G is fine. Thoughts?
No, yeah, I do agree with you. I don't think most people notice a difference between 4G and 5G when it comes to speed. More than enough for streaming video or whatever else you want to do, making video calls. A bit like the camera, 13 megapixel versus 26 megapixel. Most people won't even notice a difference anyway. But in a new device, still, I think, how many times when we're talking about specialist tech, do we say, well, it just feels like you're paying the same money for older hardware that you wouldn't expect to see in the mainstream? I get a little feeling of that with this.
Yeah, look, I said the same thing about the Capsys, and again, I have to get hands-on, because I had hands-on with the Capsys, I can say this. I haven't tried the BlindShell, so I can't compare yet, but I will. What I felt with the Capsys, and I said it before, was it was just not as powerful as I would like it to be. It was good for, basic tasks and doing basic things, and, I think there's an expectation set when you use something like an iPhone or a top-end Android, even a low-end Android, to be fair. You use an iPhone SE, you use the latest iPhone, you get an expectation that's set about capability. I mean, you try something else and it's notably slower and notably not as fast or as powerful. It is evident to you, even just simply by moving and navigating with TalkBack or VoiceOver. On the Capsys case, we're talking, of course, about TalkBack. You can tell the difference. My Motorola G54 is way more powerful than the Capsys, and it's significantly cheaper.
Yes, which shouldn't be the case.
No.
Right? It feels instinctively wrong to me.
So the question I have going into this review is, how does this compare to those devices? And I'm going to be benchmarking this against like the Motorola G54 and the Capsys. I think these are good comparisons, because essentially Capsys is the same in terms of price, similar in terms of price.
Yeah.
And it's under that specialist tech banner. But then you have something like the Motorola G54, which comes in at the price it does, which is, a couple $100, and is a mainstream Android phone. How do these all compare? And, so far I would say the Capsys lost out to the Motorola. Let's see how the BlindShell compares to the Capsys and the Motorola. That's my benchmarking I'm going to be going on that review. Okay, let's move on because Greg has been in touch. Our good friend Greg in Pennsylvania.
Hey, just thought you might want to know that the latest episode of the podcast, The Curious History of Your Home, is on the history of sheds. I'm halfway through and no mention of Shaun yet.
Oh.
Greg in Pennsylvania.
Thank you, Greg. Of course I will be on there. I will be the finale as the king of sheds, as I am. Actually, my shed's getting a little bit rickety, maybe in need of some repair soon.
Oh, dear. Okay,
yeah,
well, that's why it's not featured.
Not yet.
Okay.
It'll be a listed building.
I recently began listening to your podcast and I'm finding it useful and entertaining. I believe you're looking for a title for an app review segment. May I suggest a few possibilities? 1. Absolute must.
Oh.
As in Uber Eats is an absolute must-have. 2. App Fab or Fab App or Absolutely Fab. Jaws does not pronounce it correctly, but absolute rhymes with absolute. Best regards, Callie.
Thank you, Callie.
Thank you.
Okay.
We'll add them to the list.
Absolutely fab. Absolutely fab. Something kind of, yeah. Okay. I see where you're going. At some point we'll start this feature, I promise you.
We did talk about this the other day. We are going to work on this.
I mean, we are doing it. We just haven't named it yet. That's the thing.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so let's move on. Who have we got next? We've got Camille who wants to issue a warning about free VPNs.
According to an article I just finished reading in the weekly Ask Woody newsletter, be very careful when using free VPN. They apparently quite often track your activity. Thanks again, Laura, for reading our emails. Happy tapping, Camille.
No, look, this comes from our conversations about the Meta Ray-Bans connecting to free VPNs. So, Shaun, Preece, account for your words.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Because you're the
Stop it.
ambassador
Throw me under the bus.
for free VPNs, which is decided.
Okay. Yes, I absolutely will say the same thing. You should be cautious because what a VPN is you're connecting to someone else's computers and getting all your traffic, all your websites through someone else's computer. That is basically what a VPN is. Now, if it's a free VPN, how is that company making money if they're not charging you to use their computers? There's something happening. So yes, you should be cautious. And I wouldn't usually recommend it, but I've seen a free one called WindScribe being recommended all over Facebook and other social media for use with Meta Ray-Bans. Now, the difference is, in the case of Meta Ray-Bans and using it to enable the Meta AI, all we're doing is turning the VPN on and setting it to USA or Canada, and then opening the MetaView app and enabling the AI. And then, and here's the key point, you turn that VPN off. We're not using it to surf the internet or send our traffic through. All we're doing is a one-time use to say, hey, I'm in somewhere where Meta AI is available, and it will turn it on, and then get rid of that VPN and don't use it again. So yeah, I would agree. But I've heard some people, we've had reports in saying that WindScribe, people are having problems actually just using it accessibility-wise. I have downloaded it. I'm going to try it out, and I will let you know. But yeah, I'm quite tempted to say use one of the better known ones, Nord, PIA, Tunnel Bear, whatever it may be, and pay for 1 month. It's $5 or $10, whatever it may be, just to turn on the AI and then stop your subscription. You don't need to be using a VPN all the time. Just a one-time thing.
Yeah, someone asked me the other day about this, and they were asking about the iCloud. Is it private relay functionality? But that's not a VPN. Just to be clear on this, that's not a virtual private network. That is essentially a way of disguising you on the internet to basically allow you to browse securely, knowing that others won't be able to track you. Apple has more kind of security built in that regard, but it's not a VPN.
No, not in this sense. It won't work as in, hey, I'm actually in a different country to where I am. It just rather, as you say, it stops the tracking, companies being able to track you. Still a great service, but not really for this use as in the Meta AI.
Alan's been in touch.
Hi, Stephen, Shaun, and Laura. Hope that you are all well and keeping busy. Just letting you and your listeners know about some new products and apps that I have heard about. Also, the latest episode is not on the website and the YouTube channel. LG have brought out a home hub which has the new Matter standard built in and also is a loudspeaker where you can speak into and ask questions through AI. Also, Sony have brought out an accessible camera which 80% talks. I heard of this on the RNIB Tech Talk program. Also, the new Solo Ergo Vision smart glasses have now got a camera on the front of the glasses. Please can you try and get the CEO of the Solos company for an interview on your show? Also, there is a company that have developed new smart glasses called Echo Vision. These glasses were designed and built by the people who used to work for Amazon on the Echo devices. Carrie on Accessible YouTube had an interview with the developer of the Echo Vision glasses, and Carrie thought that the Echo Vision glasses were much better and had more features on the glasses than the Meta Ray-Bans. It would be good if you can do an interview with the developers of the Echo smart glasses. The last few weeks, the Blind Android Users podcast has had 2 new navigation apps demonstrated. The apps are called Candle and Walker's Guide, developed by 2 German blind guys. Warren from the Blind Android Users podcast did a really good demo of these 2 apps, and also the developer of the Walker's Guide app came on the podcast. I received the new TalkBack 15 earlier on, and I really like the new Gemini description, and it works very well. I wish in future that you could just take a photo or a video, and it will process the photo and video automatically and describe the image automatically, like Be My AI does at the moment. Also, just to let you know that Gemini Live is now free on Android, and it is swipe down and right to open the TalkBack settings. Keep up the good work. Less waffle at the start of the programme equals more tech news and more emails. Kind regards, Alan from Hereford in the UK.
Okay, we'll try and get through it. Yes, we'll try and get more or less waffle on and more interviews. Yes, we are trying.
Next time, obviously not for this episode.
Not for this one. No.
Yeah, for next time. Thank you so much. That's very, very interesting. I'm really sort of disappointed in how much of the Matter protocol we've seen so far. It was such a hype around, everything is going to be able to talk to everything else. We're going to be able to do away with, I need an app for this device, then another app for this smart device. Everything is going to be talking a universal language called Matter. And so far, I haven't really seen much of it. The new devices that we're getting, new smart home devices, a lot of them will have Matter support, but there's not really much in the devices we've already got. I'm slightly disappointed in Matter. I was expecting more, but it's good to see that it's rolling out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we are going to be speaking to the developers of the Echo Vision glasses soon. And we're going to be talking to, and certainly trying to get the guys on from Ergo as well. That's an interesting company, because we had kind of mixed opinion about that one, if I remember rightly, when we talked about that first time round.
I believe I did reach out to them. I didn't hear anything back again, but we will follow up on that.
Yeah, loads of cool stuff coming up actually in the next few weeks. We've got so much to get through. Honestly, we could probably just hit play on our inbox and walk away till Christmas with the amount of reviews and interviews and conversations that we have already. So, and loads more to come. But I want to just quickly address the waffle thing. For us, this show is an opportunity for us to connect with you guys, right? And for that, we do have to, talk occasionally. I know it gets in the way of the tech, and I understand that. But, a lot of people do come here just to, listen to our stories. And I think, we love doing that. So, that's part of the show, Alan. And I do appreciate that, it's not for everyone. But we did introduce chapter markers, so you can go and, skip all the waffle if you want. Get to the meat if you wish. We try to accommodate you all. But listen, thank you again. And we're out of time. Can you believe it? Goodness me, is that an hour already?
No, already.
I know. We're done. But listen, thank you.
I need another hour.
I know, so do I. Well, do you know what? Here's what we'll do. We'll do it tomorrow. How about that?
Okay, why not?
Deal. Okay, catch you there. Thanks, Shaun. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.